Welcome to Dimensional Shift, where we explore and actively deprogram ourselves, seek the truth of reality through expanding our perceptions, and focus on full remembrance of our true selves. As we begin to connect to our true selves, we will also see the truth of this illusory reality and the way it controls us through our manipulated perceptions. As soon as we fully remember our true selves, we will also see the enemy for what it is and how to rebalance the system by freeing ourselves and assisting others to do the same, creating a domino effect into the evolution of human consciousness. Well, I know that this podcast is coming out Monday, which is the day after our Galactic Community Discord event where we covered psychic protection. I thought it would be helpful for all of you to hear a little bit about what we talked about and some of the things that are important to protect yourself on a psychic and astral level. So the first big practice I want to talk about for psychic protection is the tinfoil hat. Now, I don't expect you to go get your tinfoil and start making a hat, but I was experimenting with this a couple days ago. I really recommend you do this with some kind of noise-canceling headphones or earplugs, but you go in a room that's very, very quiet, shut off all the fans, shut off all of the electronics, all of that as much as you can. And then if you have your headphones, put those on and then just listen to the noise in your head. I'm talking about the radio static. I'm talking about the high frequency beeps and tones, anything like that that's constantly playing over and over and over in your head that you're just not aware of. What that is it's essentially the systems that be the matrix trying to keep you so overloaded that you don't have time to focus on anything important. You don't have the ability to focus on the hard things so that you can start your healing path. Thankfully, you can shut them down. It takes quite a bit of effort. I have a few methods that will help you get the frequencies to stop or to get them dispersed or whatever it is. So the first thing you want to do is isolate one of the frequencies. The first one I did was like a radio static, almost like a white noise up in my upper right lobe. I tried several methods, and the one that worked best for me was simply sending out a scatter signal. And what that means is if you think of a ball of tin foil, and then take the tin foil out, but leave the crumply, scattery, interferingness, great words here, aren't they? And you throw that out into the frequency, or conversely, you can create a frequency that's very jagged and send that out to it. It will generally disrupt the frequency. I don't know how long the frequency will be disrupted for. That was half a day ago and it still hasn't come back. So I'm going to call that a win for right now. The next frequency that I've been struggling with for a very long time is this frequency on the left side of my head, and it's a long, sharp tone. And I know it's not a download tone because number one, it's never gone away. Number two, it's very sharp. It hurts I'm not really hearing it, but it hurts my ears. It hurts my senses. And it feels like it's trying to drill into my brain. That one was a lot harder to pinpoint the right method to use to get it to go away since I've tried other things before. And I finally decided to try and use the dial method, which is essentially you attach a radio dial to the frequency sound and you turn it down. And I just kept turning it down and turning it down and turning it down until it was gone. That's another really helpful thing too. Now these are for malicious tones and clutter in your mind. If you come across something that almost feels like it needs to be heard more consciously, then ask it if it has a message. If it has a message, it will deliver a message. It'll give you some kind of visual or auditory or whatever, however it is you process things, and then it will move on. Remember that your headspace, your body, your energy field, your senses, they are your own. If at any time you don't want a frequency in your field, you don't want a noise in your head, whatever, it's your space. Tell it to get out. You need to own it, because if not, they will take that as permission to do whatever they want and keep you in whatever state they want to keep you in. So moving on to using your aura to protect yourself, I have this set into two types of ways to use your aura. One would be on the preventative part, and one would be more defensive/offensive. So the first thing you need to know is aura works on people as well as beings. So if you're going to be using the invisibility cloak, so people can't find you, but you're supposed to be meeting somebody you've never met before, and they know what you look like, but you've cloaked yourself in invisibility, they're not going to be able to spot you in the crowd. So there's some things to think about when using these. So like I said, I'm going to go through these and then I'm going to go over how to use them, I think. The first aura shielding is the invisibility cloak. You are cloaked in invisibility so that they or anyone can't find you. People can't see you. You'll find that people will bump into you in the middle of the sidewalk more often, because basically you slip through their vision field without it registering is how it works. The next is the scramblesuits. This is one of my favorite. Anything that they try and attack you with, it's going to scramble the code that's coming toward you, and it's just going to bounce off into nothingness. Nothing's going to happen of it, because the frequency that I'm putting out is so erratic that when it hits your field, it doesn't know what to do. There's the mirror suit, and that's just anything they come at you with, it's just going to reflect off. It's not going to target anybody else, it's just simply going to reflect off and dissipate. The scattersuit is another really good one, but again, not good if you're meeting somebody or in a large area where you need to be seen or anything like that. The scattersuit is where you look like anyone else. You look happy in the matrix. You take the target off your back that you're a light worker and a healer, and you look like everybody else who's happy doing their social media and going about buying their fast food and whatever else there is, right? That's the scattersuit. The more aggressive attacks that you can use, and again, these will work for people just as they do for galactic beings. The first one is the aura of absorbing. Now, you have to be careful with this one. You can absorb the attacks and use the free energy, but you have to realize that the free energy has intention attached to it. So before you use the free energy, you have to remove the intention. That's pretty easy. You just have to say something like, I free this free energy from any intention that was attached to it, and it is now able to be used by anybody with any intention. You also can just ground that energy. If it's not something you want to deal with or you don't have time, just ground it. If you can't deal with the free energy with intention right away, I recommend you ground it, because if not, if there's this intention hanging out in your field, it could still cause some problems. There's the aura of rebound. This is sort of like the mirror suit. The aura of rebound is going to rebound whatever they cast on you on them. Now, this can cause for a lot of very heightened anger situations, so be careful. If you're being bothered by the grays and you just want them to leave you alone, having their low-level stuff rebound on them is enough to make them leave you alone. But if you're up against a full-on alpha draconian, his anger is going to rebound on him, and that's just going to make him even more angry. So be careful with that one. And again, it works on humans. So you need to be aware of who's in your life that would be affected by their own crap coming back on them. There's an aura of discomfort. There's a couple different ways to do this. If you are an introvert and you want people to leave you alone, because we do a lot, just leave me alone. You can create an aura of discomfort, which means that anybody who comes into your proximity is going to get very uncomfortable and want to leave you alone, want to leave your area. There's also the other side of anybody who does attack you brings the attacker great discomfort. I use the word discomfort. I don't use the word pain. You can use whatever word you choose to use that will help give it power. And the last one, and the one that I recommend you only do in dire situations, as in, let's say there's beings in your room at night and you're not sure what they're going to do and you're not sure who they are or something like that. Put up this aura of defense. And basically you're going to fill your aura with spikes, barbs, knives, anything sharp. And that just means that if they try to attack you physically, if they try to attack you astrally, if they try to attack you psychically, they are going to get wounded. If you feel your life or your spirit or anything else is in danger, you have every right to protect and defend yourself. So those are the big pieces of psychic protection. Of course, the big caveat is none of this is going to work if you believe that you are a lesser being than any of these other beings that are trying to do these things to you. The absolutely whole point of this is that you have to get rid of the hierarchy between you and any other galactic being. Just because you have been cut off and cannot see your full cosmic galactic self doesn't mean your full cosmic galactic self isn't there. You just have to learn how to tap into it. And they don't want you to do that. But the first step you have to take is being brave, stop being afraid and acting even when you are afraid, and breaking down those hierarchies so that when you do face an Alpha Draconian, you can stand toe-to-toe with them and not feel like they have one up on you and that you need to people please and make sure they're not going to hurt you, because feeling like you need to make sure they're not going to hurt you is what gives them the ability to hurt you. If you have full sovereign power and you are fully in your soul and you are fully capable of using and owning who you are, they cannot hurt you, and that is what they don't want you to know. So, rant over. The question remains, how do you do this? Well, creating an aura shield or aura defense isn't too terribly difficult. The easiest way to do it is to ground and center. Everything starts with grounding and centering, pulling energy from the free energy grid, if you've read about that on the Reddit, and set your intention that whichever method you choose, remember that the method with the more offensive type, like the spikes and barbs, that's going to take a lot more energy, whereas invisibility is going to take a lot less energy from you. So you're going to basically draw your energy field in, and you're going to bring it in into your core. And you're going to bring it in into a tight, fast swirling core, like it's the core of your soul, the core of your being, and the core of your power. And then you're going to take a deep breath in, and that core is going to expand out a little more. You're going to breathe out, but the core will stay, and you're going to take another deep breath in, and it will expand. And you're going to keep breathing deep breaths until that aura surrounds your body in a good safe distance. I recommend 2 to 3 feet around your body, unless you're trying to do the introvert proximity of discomfort aura. When you are done with your aura, simply do the opposite. Simply exhale slowly. You can do it all in one go and just pull that energy field back into your core And then your core will kind of bounce back out a little bit into your normal aura around you as it would be in an everyday situation. If you found this episode helpful or insightful, please share it with a friend and leave a review or comment. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I host twice weekly open discussions on the podcast topic on our Discord server. If you'd like to join, head to dimensionalshifter.com/Discord. If you're on Reddit, come join the subreddit r/dimensionalshifters or send me a DM. My username is dimensionalshifter. Keep deprogramming, keep connecting, keep listening to your intuition. This is it. This is what we've been searching for our whole lives. Connection to our true selves.